Let's begin. We'll connect to our Ujjayi breath. And feel the shoulders and the weight of the arms relaxing down in such a way that the base of the neck, the sides of the neck start to feel just a bit freer. And then find out if you can cover, contact, use every air sac in your lungs. These next 3 breaths, so envision, picture, feel, sense. The whole lung coming alive. You're sensing into that upper lobe of lung, you will feel and you will use those deeper, those chest and those neck muscles. We won't let them work exclusively or primarily, but they do work as we're breathing into these topmost parts of the lung. We'll work 2 rounds of Uddiyana. You can use your fingers to help push and create a bit more bias, lift through the chest. And deeply inhaling. Feel the lower lobes of the lungs, the lower ribs moving. The back of the ribs, the middle ribs, sides of the ribs. Keep inhaling, there's upper ribs. Upper back ribs. Hold the breath. Bring the hands forward, swift, thorough exhalation. Right out the mouth. Stay empty. Get a little emptier if possible. And then start to draw the belly in. Feet active. So lifting from the perineum, drawing in, low belly, lifting up away from the ground, yet drawing the shoulders down. So the what that we're lifting up is more core based. The shoulders we're moving down. The chest we're moving, pulling forward. Release when you need a breath. Come back upright. Set the fingertips. Last one. back ribs, middle ribs, back middle ribs, chest wall, sternum, upper back, collarbone. Hold the breath. Bring hands forward, exhale, empty, draw belly in. Resume your Ujjayi breath. And we'll switch the cross of our legs. We'll go left over right. Classic seated spinal twist. So the right leg is on the ground and the left knee bent, facing the sky. Inhaling. We'll use the left hand to press, the right arm to reach. Push down, push that left shoulder down. And then exhaling, the right elbow over the left thigh. Now, as you're using those left hand fingertips, the press grows the mid back up away from the low back. Upper back away from the mid back. And release. Inhaling, unwind. We'll walk the left knee over the right knee, knee pile. Drawing the arms up overhead. Telescoping, lifting the ribs up. Exhale, draw the right elbow over the left elbow, right over left. Feet active. Inhale into the upper back, the area between the shoulder blades, under the spine. Exhaling, glide the shoulders down, the blades softly down, and then nudge the elbows forward. So in these first few moments of our practice, as we're breathing and sensing all around the lung and the heart, you can just start to feel into noticing if there's something specifically that you want to touch, address, breathe into. Inhaling, unwind. We'll get one more side of poses to just conduct a baseline. Right. So seated spinal twist, we go left leg's on the ground, right knee bent, right hand fingertips down. Now inhale, push with the right. Reach with the left. Push, reach. And exhale that left elbow over the right thigh. So you're using the information with your breath, you're feeling, sensing, to help you start to draft your intention for your practice. And sometimes we choose right at the beginning an intention to work with, and that's great. But sometimes we just need a little bit more information to get clear. What's really needed in this practice? What do I really want to address or look at or perceive? Right. Inhaling, unwind from twist. Crossing the right over the left knee pile. Reaching arms up. And exhale the left over the right. Arms an eagle. Feet active. Sensing how breath moves into this heart and lung space, how it moves in, through. So sensations like weight or emotional tone, those might be relevant to you crafting and sharpening your intention for your practice. The sense of buzziness or flutter, or sludginess. There's kind of an undefined mushiness. But the information with your breath, with your feeling sense. And you don't have to name it. I'm just offering language just so that you have some identifiers, some ways of noticing and checking and then inhale, unwind the arms, the legs. Let's lie on back. Frog lifting through. So with bent legs set apart, hands supporting back of head, inhale, head, shoulder blades off the ground. Exhale, the tailbone shifts, the legs outreach, the elbows reach up, pull low belly down. Inhale into the pelvic floor. Exhale, and tailbone shifts, legs outreach, draw the belly in. So yes, you can feel within the space of the pelvis, inhaling into the hip sockets. Also, exhaling, you can extend, sensing all around the pelvis in general. Just sensing the area where the thigh meets the pelvis. Pull low belly down. All right, let's do 5 more. You can do those your pace. So what I'm suggesting is that our ability to sense our body isn't limited to the physical body, just contained within the skin. But that's a really great place to start, to flesh out, to map, to sense. It's great to be able to sense most, if not all, of what's in our physical legal entity, right, our bodies. And that sensing can extend to include the space what we might say is around the skin. I would say more accurately is the space that is just a little bit outside the skin that is also inside the skin. It's common space. It's continuous. The skin is a convenient boundary. It's an organismic boundary. All right, we're just going to do that one. So let's turn onto a side. I want to get us into some dolphin and such. So we'll set up elbows and knees. Draw the shoulders down away from the neck. So that'd be like the top of the shoulder, the delt, the pull down. Push ground. Getting those two moves to occur. Pull shoulders down away from head. Push the ground down. Hopefully that gives you a really broad sense of upper back. So this is one of those places in our body that can get quite entangled. Or that feeling of knottiness. So as we pull and push, feel for that spreading out. Deep breath into that upper back, that knobby spine area. Exhale the knees off the ground. And gently set the knees down. We're going to also work flash prep, so a little rest moment. We'll let right arm remain down. Plant the left palm. I go in front of the knee. I also go a little to the outside of the knee. Some of you have to go a little wider with that left hand, left with the left hand. Both shoulders, draw them each down away from the neck. Push the ground with both arms. And check, do you feel both chest muscles on? So when I kind of go around and check like chest muscle area, maybe like 8 out of 10 of us won't really have that chest flexed. So you have to kind of squeeze the beach ball, squeeze, hug the earth, right? And then inhale behind the chest muscles. Behind those hugging chest muscles, exhale the knees off the ground. Now reach that left elbow toward the left shin. This will be option one. Option one is leave your left palm on the ground. So you've got some support. You've got weight in that left hand. Make sure you feel the left hand pushing. Option two is taking that left palm from this flash prep setup and reaching back for dolphin strut. Left hand grabs the left ankle. Okay, so it's going to put a little different quality stretch through that left shoulder blade area. Deep breath under the stretch, under the blade, under the lats. And as those heels sink down, the back of the heart lifts forward, up. And release. Set the knees down. We're going to do the other side. Left forearm planted. We're starting with flash prep. Everyone gets a drive through flash prep. Okay. The right palm down. Draw the shoulders away from the neck. Push the earth. Do you feel that upper back getting that little bias? Now, my observation is most of us will rush this next moment. We rush right by it, so slow down to feel. While your arms are working, the chest muscles flexing, while you're sensing the upper back, breathe, feel your breath in the upper back bones. That's the top of the lung, go way up under those spine, almost neck territory. Exhale the knees off the ground. So we'll just camp right here for a moment, getting some deep breaths, feeling a right elbow, reach for that right shin. It's a wrapping action. It's a shoulder blade moving motion. And then breathing under that right shoulder blade. So option one is continue using that right palm on the ground supportively. Option two, right hand, dolphin strut. Right hand reaches for right ankle. Relaxing the neck. Push with that left arm. And when we release, hands down, knees down. That is finished. Inhale the hands under the shoulders. And as we exhale, we're pressing back, downward dog. Now, when you're wrapping the shoulders, having just spent those dolphin moments, breathing, moving, spreading that upper back area, how's that? Does that work out a little differently here now? And then feeling the back of the heart, the mid-back, feeling it with your breath, feeling the tone of the body, feeling how the breath interfaces with that tone. Some of us are really auditory people, so as we're sensing the body, it may come across like harmonious or resonant or a shimmering, clean, harmonious sound or a kind of a clangy sound, but some of us will be much more visual. We'll see or sense a quality of lightness or brilliance or dimness, opacity. Pyramid. Inhale the left foot forward. So pyramids of folds. We'll walk those hands down the thigh. However you're working the hands, as they move down and down, you'll feel and notice if the shoulders just kind of ball up into the neck. Okay. So take the care as you're walking, placing the hands, you're moving the shoulders away from the neck. So we do take all of this great care to help those neck nerves become, at least for these moments, kind of unimpacted. So we can experience a free neck. It's not something we have to just live with, a cranky, compacted neck. We can do something about a lot of things, which is really empowering. Bend left knee. Inhale, walk that right foot back. Okay. We're setting up ostrich. So kind of deepened out into a warrior stance, interlacing the hands. First stage of this is I can rest my ribs on my thigh. Another iteration is I can allow my torso to hang off my thigh. Okay, we'll just a few breaths in, so you just have to feel out your back and your hip. If the stretch is feeling too much, too provocative, you just put the ribs on the thigh and work with a deep breath. Sometimes it's really great to have that little bandwidth of being able to provoke and investigate and kind of probe and reach into sometimes testy or uncertain waters. And sometimes it's great to know how to not provoke and to breathe deeply. And I'm saying provoke, I might also say probe. I'm wanting to express an investigatory tone or relationship that we have in our body. It's an essential relationship. It has to be developed at some point. And probably most of us did when we're 1 and 2 years old. Inhale, bring the hands down to the sacrum, release. Set them under the shoulders. Exhale, step back, lower, belly to earth. Cobra. Stretch the legs back, shifting tailbone toward the earth. Inhale. Exhale, lower, downward dog. Pyramid. Inhale the right foot forward. And exhaling as you're working the hands down, move shoulders away from your ears. If your hands are on the ground, reach the elbows toward the ground. As you're wrapping the shoulders, detail, wrapping the shoulders can be different, is different than rounding the upper spine. So as you're wrapping the shoulders, you can lengthen the chest forward, lengthen the upper back away from the mid-back. Wrapping the shoulders has to do with the musculature of the shoulder blade, the position of the arms relative to the neck, and moving the shoulder blades independently of the rib cage. Therefore, we can move the rib cage independently of the shoulder blades. So as you're inhaling, as you're breathing, expanding the ribs, feel them moving under those wrapped shoulders. And ostrich. We'll bend the right knee. Work that left foot back, just push, push, push. We can start with the ribs on the thigh. We don't have to come out of the fold, this great fold. Interlace, inhale. Lengthening the ribs along the thigh, exhale. Ostrich. So as you're breathing into the tone of the body, we breathe into really the history of our body, the biography that's in our body. So there's deep breath winds moving through a lot of substrate, right? There's the physical, the cellular, there's the emotional, there's the historical, the energetic. It's a lot of substrate that we're feeling into, sorting, sensing. They all have different weights and timbres, and this is just the way I sense. So I'm just giving you my sketchbook here. All right, inhale, bring the hands down to the waist. Let them go. Hands under shoulders. Exhale, we'll step the right foot back, chaturanga. We'll lower all the way down. Now, fingertips, grab the bottom of the butt. The bottom being the hamstring butt juncture, the sit bones. By grabbing, the tail shifts down, the buttock involves, plumps against the fingertips. Inhale. Pull with the fingertips, lift the chest forward. Exhale, reach the legs backward. And bring breath all the way down to that pubic bone. Low back, low belly. And as you're exhaling, lift elbows towards sky. So you're keeping that buttock muscle, you're keeping that pelvis and that orientation through the inhale, through the exhale. There's no pain in the low back. And then we release. Inhale, the hands under the chest. Exhale, downward dog. So we're going to do a little vertical splits and some other stuff, wall necessary. So we'll step forward, arrange our mat with a section of wall. Okay. So 2 moves, let me show you them. And then you can modify just however, working the left foot forward first. So the first move is vertical splits. I'm using the wall to support my back leg, which now is my right. Okay. And then gradually, as I get my palms to the ground, if or as I start walking my hands closer to the wall, wrapping the shoulders, I may decide to pike and just do a little play here. Okay. There's 2 vertical splits, so I'll make sure to talk us through the changing of the sides. Right, but first, the vertical splits, we need to set it up in a way favorable to where our legs and our fold and our palms and all of that feels right now. So maybe I start 3-4 feet from the wall, left foot on ground, and I draw the right foot up. So 1, connect to breath. Allow the neck and the head to relax. With the palms on surface, I'm saying surface, it might be ground, might be blocks, wrap the shoulders. Okay. One of the things I like with this vertical splits is getting far enough away from the wall that both of my legs are similarly bent or similarly straightened. In other words, I won't just work my left leg straight and then crowd my right bent leg against the wall. I'll walk way away and have both of my legs similarly bent, similarly straightened. There you go. Doesn't mean force a stretch, but for many of us it means move away from the walls to straighten the right leg more. Now, only if the palms are on the ground. I don't recommend the blocks. I recommend the ground, palms on ground. You might want to start to pike, left foot up, and depending on your wingspan, the amount of room you have all on that wall, you can start to draw that left leg up the wall, the clock on the wall. You can switch the legs movement. Do another round here. So big circular. The other option is to get the palms on the surface and just practice pushing without the shoulders shrugging into the neck. That's a really great practice. All right, we'll step foot down, foot down. Take a moment. We will do the other side vertical splits. When we do, the right foot on ground and the left leg up wall. So you can keep working vertical splits on wall. Deep, deep breath. As you're walking your hands and your foot back, nearer, nearer to the wall. If, only if, your palms are on the ground. Not fingertips, fingertips and palms. Then you can pike the right foot off the ground. And you can have some creative circular fun, if you're into fun. There you go. It's kind of fun and interesting to hang and reach the leg in all those directions. There you go. There you go. There you go. I didn't mention it. I hope you're figuring this out, that you're suspending yourself on the wall with those toe pads. The toe pads, the forefoot, the ball mounds. The bottom of your foot is on the wall. All right. Stepping down. And then we'll move away from the wall. And we'll press back into downward dog. All right. And as you're moving the heads of the shoulders, the arm bones away from each other, it clears, it opens up the space around the neck. You can bend the elbows and hug, gathering up the earth with your palms, squeezing elbow to elbow, getting the chest muscles to flex. Inhale the left foot forward, head to ankle. Okay. So head to ankle, you might already be thinking how to get the shoulder and head down behind the calf. That's one way. And another way, if you're less warm, is planting the hands shoulder width and reaching the elbows for the ground. So I'm going to mention it here too. I'm saying a lot of the same stuff. As you're reaching the elbows for the ground, one of the things I'll tend to notice is kind of a collapsing of the solar plexus, almost like we're scrunching and balling up our organs to try to touch the ground with our arms. When we're bending the elbows, we're wrapping the shoulders. It has more to do with exposing and spreading the spine area between the shoulder blades than it has to do with rounding the spine. So you still lengthen through the chest, lengthen the upper spine away from the mid-spine, lengthen open, unimpact the solar plexus while folded. There you go. That's it. That's it. All right. Now, I think we're all ready for scissors. So now do tuck that left arm under the left thigh. Turn your right hand fingertips out just a little bit, like almost 90 degrees. And we can begin walking the feet away from one another, left foot forward, right foot back. At some point, my pelvis is low to the ground where I can consider my right hip moving to my right elbow. Use those inner legs. Press. Strong legs. Not just stretchy legs, strong legs. Here you go. I'll give you a moment to just kind of settle up in. And so we just got the left leg forward for now. We'll get to the right side in a moment. I want your hands to have a little rest. All right, and we'll step back, downward dog. All right, head to ankle. Inhale the right foot forward. Okay, so we can place the hands inside right foot. And as you're reaching elbows toward the ground, find out if you can create that distinction between the shoulder blades wrapping around and the rib cage lengthening away from the pelvis. How will I know? Breathe into the front of your solar plexus. If there's no motion, if there's no breath motion in the front of your solar plexus, you might be crowding and collapsing or rounding, right? Lengthen through the front of the solar plexus. Feel your breath in the solar plexus. That'll give us some sense of that area being freer. So breath movement. It's a strong equivalency to bodily freedom. And then scissors. So tuck that right arm under the right leg. Turn the left hand almost 90 degrees. Walk right foot forward, left foot backward. And then the body will pivot, bringing that left waist to that left elbow, that left tricep. So there's a moment where I kind of turn my body and I bring my left waist to my left tricep. And for some of us, we'll just be working this like a real long, casual splits. That's okay. Some of us will put the knee down and we'll stretch one leg out. That's great. So many ways to teach ourselves in. There you go. Flight. Cool. All the inner legs. How do I know my inner legs? I know them through the inner foot, the big toe ball mound. And then we'll practice the exit, right? So bending knee, front knee, stepping back, downward dog. We'll take 3 deeper breaths, deeper than usual, deeper than our habit boundaries. Right? Our habits are wonderful ways to examine our boundary, our sense of where do I end? Where does the environment begin? Where do I end? Where does someone else begin? And we'll have a seat and we'll set up Mariachasana. So we'll go left leg bent, right leg straight. The left arm encircles the left shin, so if you want to preemptively set up a strap or something to grab, you can get that. Just look at the right foot. If the toes are just kind of spilled out at 2 o'clock, use that inner leg, both inner legs. Reach, press, use both inner legs. Hey, watch this. Let me turn. So if I put my left hand on my inner left knee, if I put my right hand on my inner right knee, and I pull my hands apart, my legs will go, wait, squeeze together. There you go. That's what I mean. Inhale, draw the left arm up and forward. Exhale, reach that left arm forward, encircling the left shin. Inner legs. Now I'm using the arm, pressing back into the shin. Inhale. Feel for freeing up that solar plexus. This is another place. A lot of these folds, a lot of these places, you can really get bunched in this diaphragm area. So how do you experience that breath moving through this diaphragm, the solar plexus? And release. Inhale, unwind. Straighten left leg, switch sides. Inhale, lift with the right arm, the chest. Exhale, reach. So the reach is to lengthen, to open up that front of solar plexus area. Involve those inner leg lines. Relax the head and the neck. Now, using your breath, inhale, move the chest bones toward your foot, your left foot. Release. Inhale, unwind. Lie on back. Shavasana. We'll rest. And taking advantage of that conscious, deep breath we've been activating this whole practice, to feel this shape-shifted breath. And to gradually dial out the technique of the breath, the way that we create that closure and that sound, and the way we activate all of those rib muscles and diaphragm muscle. Just dialing back all of that activated technique, and still experiencing that vast, vast breath. The shape of our breath is in part a function of habit or training. And so, the shape of our feeling, sensing, our perspective can be trained or habituated. And so note how you can maintain, sustain an expanded sense, feeling awareness. And this is choice. Once we experience it and we know it, we can choose it. Once we have an experience, we can choose. Bend knees. Turn to a side and use your hands. Press to seated. Namaste.